So let's dive right into this really small handmade custom that arguably is the most inexpensive custom knife made by anyone, anywhere, at any level. So as you can see, it's rather small. You got your Oreo double stuff here because, well, I'm a little hungry. So as soon as I'm done filming about 10 minutes, the cookie is all mine. But it kind of gives you an idea. You know, everybody's hand is a different size. Just because I can hide it in my hand, that doesn't really tell you a lot, but everybody knows what Oreo cookie is, right? I mean, come on. And we'll do some other size comparisons with some other standard knives that you probably do know about in just a minute also. But this is the Homer Zhou Custom Knives. It's the Chen model. And it's got some cool features. And some that are not so cool. And we're going to talk about that. But I'll start out with a price of $200 to $300, depending on some things. This one's on the lower end, and this one is actually for sale. It was loaned in from my buddy Joseph, and it's going back to him after I filmed this. And it is an automatic. But if you are interested in a very small, awesomely made, high quality, handmade custom automatic, you could get this for the low end of that scale. Okay. And of course, I left some fingerprints of smudges on it, but that's okay. So it's a two-tone blade, black on the flats, and just, belt satin on the grinds. Anodized titanium scales with the obligatory speed holes. A really extra deep carry pocket clip with the screws protruding out. So that's a bit of a negative for me. I know we've all talked about that. A countersunk screw there would have been much better. I get it that these other screws are not countersunk, so there would still be a little bit of a hang up here. But yeah, that one just, I would rather it just be a countersunk screw. That's just me. I don't design and make knives, so what do I know? But it does work in my pocket just fine the way that it is. So it's really not a gripe. It's a very small nitpick. This is number 152. He's got his name there on the back, and that's it. Really nice, clean, and because they're custom, you can reach out to him and get different things made and done. Just wipe that off because it's going to bug me, whether it bugs you guys or not. I have seen some with carbon fiber inlays and different things. So it does run on ceramic bearings. So it has a crazy action. Like if you're not holding it tight, you can easily have this fly out of your hand. Don't ask me how I know. I'm just going to say that could easily happen. But it is actually very, even for being a two-hander, because it's automatic, it's a pretty fidgety automatic. I like it. Now, it has another feature, and we'll get into all the specs here in just a second. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this on video or not. There is milling on the on the clip side that is actually to lighten it and spells out his name. So it is HOMER. I don't know if that's really coming across in the video or not. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit to give you guys a better look inside. So there's the H, the O, the M, the E, and the R. Well, I don't know. I tried. I can kind of see it. I don't know if that's really coming out or not, but I think that's pretty cool. He has to lighten it in some fashion. So why not just use his name? Like the O is actually that speed hole there. I don't know. It's a fun little, fun fact, a little tidbit, if you will, in there. So I think that's very cool. Now, these are made in Yangjiang, Guangdong, China. I don't know. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it, but that's the best I can do. So let's talk about the specs. It's to the end of the clip is just a hair over 3 3/4 inches. Overall, you got 6.5 inches, 2.68 inch blade with a 2.57 cutting edge, 0.018 behind the edge. The blade thickness is 0.111, and it is 154 cm blade steel. Overall thickness is 0.403, so it's very thin also. And this weighs in at 2 ounces. So it is really light. It disappears in your pocket. The fire button is maybe a little bit light to me. It never deployed in my pocket, but it sometimes when you are picking it up or grabbing it, it will sometimes deploy a little bit unexpectedly, a little bit quicker than you anticipated. You kind of put your thumb over the fire button, and before you've really decided to fire, it opens, if that makes sense. I mean, it's not like a hair trigger, if you will, but I don't know, it's a pretty light fire button. So for me, I would want that to be just a little bit of a stiffer button, but it works. So since we're talking about small automatic knives, I had to pull out the Boker Desert Warrior Mini as a comparison. I think a lot of people are familiar with Boker's automatics, and I've done some videos on these before as well. So this is a great knife in that $50 range. This is fantastic. But just be aware that as you use it, all of the anodizing, and it's not even really anodizing, I don't think, because it's aluminum. So you don't really anodize aluminum. You treat the aluminum, whatever. It starts to rub off pretty good when you're using it. But that's okay. The Hellraiser from Red Horse Knife Works, the P series, the production version, automatic. And then something equally as light, but not an automatic, is the VC Edge interface. Now, this is actually 1.5 ounces versus 2 ounces, but this is all carbon fiber. And if you haven't seen my video on the VC Edge, I will put a link to my VC Edge playlist up here in the corner at the end, because you're really, you really do want to see those videos. That's a sight to behold. All right, here's the Sharpie. I mean, we're getting into pretty small territory here on a handmade custom knife. And at the $200 to $300 price range, this one's used, you can get it for like $200, but even brand new, you can get them $200 to $300 depending on the configuration. I've done some other Homer's Out videos, which I will link up in the corner as well. So please go check out my VC Edge interface video playlist, as well as my other Homer's Out video over there. Thanks a lot, guys.